Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. It's still a really gray, cold. Well, it's not cold outside, but it looks like it should be cold here in Atlanta. Good morning. Hey, Army Wife 101. Hey, Curvy Girl, ATL. Give everybody a chance to get into the room a little bit. And while we're doing that, can you please let me know if you are new to my scopes? Type new if you are new to my scopes. Good afternoon from Wales. You guys, Trefnick Golf is joining us from Wales. I think. I think I'm right about that. So Curvy Girl Atlanta is new. Welcome. Nicole's Vision. Again, you guys, if you are new to my scopes, go ahead and type new. I want to make sure I give you a proper welcome. JK17, good morning. So we'll just wait a few seconds to get new makeup artist in Ohio. Well, welcome, Miss Shanice. So Trefnick Golf is in Wales. Okay. Horrible 77, welcome and good morning. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a golf lesson this morning. But first, for the new people, my name is Tiffany Fitzgerald. I am the founder of Black Girls Golf. We are the fastest growing golf community for African American women who want to learn, practice, and play together. And it is our mission to get more women on the golf course. That is our goal. We like to have fun. We like to share affordable golf tips. And we want to just dispel some of the myths that some of us may have about golf, that it's boring, that it's too expensive, that it takes too long. I can tell you that all of that is not true. In my case, it has not been true. So please jump in with any questions you might have as we move forward. But the title of this scope is A Wedge is Not a Shoe. And in this case, it is not. So a regulation golf bag has 14 clubs. You can have any combination of clubs you want, but you can only have 14. And I can tell you that 14 golf clubs can be heavy because I use steel shafts. Now, there are graphite shafts, there are steel shafts. You know, you can get a number of different types of shafts. And if you are properly fitted, Sharice Beasley has been raving about you. Oh, that's so nice. Tell her I said thank you. If you have been properly fitted for clubs, there could be a variation between what someone may, good morning, D-Mom, what someone may recommend for me and for what a golf fitting professional may recommend for you. So it is always, always, always good when you're ready to purchase clubs that you get professionally fitted. Now, I've always been told, I prefer steel shafts, but I got professionally fitted and he put me in a set of graphite shafts. I always defer to the professionals for that because that's what they do. I listen to them. But this scope, I want to talk to you a little bit about the dynamic of a golf club, okay? And the topic of this scope is a wedge is not a shoe because in this case, it is not. And I'm going to show you one of my wedges, okay? This happens to be a 60-degree wedge. And if you're ever confused about what club you're using, most clubs will tell you, will indicate on the sole of the club what club that is. If it's a pitching wedge, it will have a P. If it is a sand wedge, it will have an S. And then there's varying degrees of loft on a club, which will be indicated by the number. So this happens to be a 60-degree loft, okay? And loft is the angle from the shaft to the face. And it is the point, it is the angle at which the ball strikes the club and gives it its trajectory. And you'll notice, so loft controls trajectory and affects distance. So you'll notice I have a putter and I have a wedge. And the loft is very different. A putter doesn't have a wedge because you want the ball. Good morning, Jamila. A putter doesn't have a wedge because you want the ball to roll. Or I'm sorry, a putter doesn't have a loft. Good morning. A putter doesn't have a loft because you want it to roll. So if I show you these clubs, see that loft? One is flat and one isn't. This is at a 60 degrees, okay? And again, loft affects trajectory and distance. So if you think about a golf course and you know that when you tee off, which is from the tee box with your driver, you want the ball to go as far as you can get it, right? But as you get closer to the hole, you don't need the ball to go as far. So as you get closer to the hole, the shaft, which is the part from the grip to here, that's your shaft. So as the ball gets closer to the hole, your clubs get shorter, which means the shaft is shorter. And the loft will change, right? Because as you get closer to the hole, the ball, the trajectory is a little lower, which means it's a little higher. It goes higher, but not as far. And for different shots, you may want to vary that, but just for, generally speaking, your wedge you'll use as you get closer to the putting green. And so let's talk a little bit about the parts of this golf club. So this is the face of the golf club. This is the toe. This is the heel. This is the sole. Never known which club to use. So Jamila, as you get better and more interested in the game, you will learn your golf clubs by spending some time on the driving range. The golf course is not the place to think about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and which club. You should know that already, and you get to know who you are as a golfer on the driving range, because all of us have tendencies, just the mechanics of our bodies. Yes, you need to go to the range. The mechanics of our bodies, the distance our fingertips are from the ground, our center of gravity, all of those things impact your golf swing. So you should spend some time on the driving range developing your skill so that when you get on the golf course, you don't have to think so much. Overthinking can ruin a round of golf for you. It really can. So when you go to the driving range, I would suggest start with your shorter clubs. Take your pitching wedge. And your pitching wedge, on the sole of your pitching wedge, there's probably a P. Take one club. Get a small bucket of balls. And you hit that one club's. Miss Shanice, yes, your clubs are based on height. Because you don't want clubs that are too tall for you and you don't want clubs that are too short for you. It makes it really difficult to have a good time. So you take one club to the driving range as a beginner. Just take one. Get a small bucket of balls. Make sure you stretch first. And then you hit that small bucket of balls with that one club, because you need to develop some consistency with each club so that when you get to the golf course, you know how far you are with each club. You know how long or how short you're hitting it with each club. And if you don't develop some consistency, thank you, Curvy Executive. If you don't develop some consistency with each club, it's going to be difficult for you to develop some consistency in your game. And it's going to be really difficult. Hey, Addison Media. It's going to be really difficult for you to manage the course. So course management is really important. You need to know, good morning, Gigi. You need to know that I am, 65 yards out. This is the club I use when I'm 65 yards to the hole. Or this is the club I use when I'm 150 to the hole. But you only develop that knowledge when you spend time on the driving range. So you've got to spend time on the driving range. And I see people all the time, beginners, they take their whole bag to the driving range. And so what they do is they start swinging with one club. Then, they hit a couple of bad shots and they're like, okay, I'm done with that club. Let me get another club. That is not the way you develop consistency. Heading to Cancun this morning, hoping that, I am so jealous. So, Joe, Cancun has really good golf, actually. I've played several rounds of golf in Cancun. Jamila's also, she's admitting that she does that. I see it all the time. You never develop any consistency if you're using more than one club at a time at the driving range. Now, if you're going to be there for 30 to 45 minutes, take 2 clubs, take 3 clubs, but don't take your whole bag. Don't take your whole bag to the driving range unless you're getting ready to play a round. Now, I don't spend a whole lot of time warming up before a round because I don't want to leave all my good shots on the driving range. I just need to see, what is my ball going to do today? So there are some days I can play, and for some reason, I got a slice. Maybe on another day, I got an over-exaggerated draw. So when I go to the driving range, it's for me to stretch, and it is for me to see, what the hell is this ball going to do today? What is Tiffany doing today? So the driving range for beginners is a development tool. It is practice. It is developing consistency. It is getting to know who you are as a golfer. You do not know who you are as a golfer unless I can pick up one of your clubs in your bag and say, how far do you hit with this? If you don't know that, you have not spent enough time on the driving range developing some consistency. What a lot of golfers will do is they develop, good morning, the demanding one. What a lot of golfers do is they develop some consistency with one club, and that club becomes their favorite club. Good golfers don't have a favorite club. You should be able to hit with any club in your bag, and you learn how to do that on the driving range. Almost 1,000 followers. Is that you, Kirby Executive? You have almost 1,000. Good for you. So we're going to go over this one more time. The slope that you see, or the loft on a golf club, affects trajectory and distance. And every golf club has a different loft. Except for your putter, which is the face of your putter is going to be flat. And again, this is the toe. This is the heel. This is the sole. And the sole of your club is going to tell you which club you're using. And this happens to be a 60-degree wedge. This is your shaft. And then this is your grip. And that really, there are a few other parts of the golf club that are not very important for you to know at this point. But those are the basic pieces of every golf club. And what is called the sweet spot on your club is the place of impact. That's where you always want to hit. The demanding one. So let me give you guys a really good secret. When you go to the driving range, stop at Walgreens. Do you give lessons? Yes, we give lessons. Black Girls Golf does give lessons. On your way to the driving range, stop at Walgreens, CVS, whatever drugstore you've got on your way to your driving range. Get a can of foot spray. Spray your club. Spray the face of your club with foot spray. And you will be able to see where you're impacting, where the ball is hitting. That will help you understand your swing plane. Where are you impacting the ball? You don't want to be over here. You don't want to be over here. You don't want to be down here. You don't want to be up here. You want to be in this sweet spot. So if you spray the face of your clubs with foot spray at the driving range, you will be able to see where your impact point is. That's very, very important. Very, very important. Because you should be neutral when you're hitting the ball. The next golf tip I give you, we'll talk about your club face and what having an open or closed club face will do to the trajectory of your shot. But for now, I want you to practice being consistent with each club, and I want you to get some foot spray. Any brand will do, but spray the face of your club with the foot spray, and you will be able to see where your impact point is on your club face. Now with this club, you'll see I can feel where my impact point is. It's about right here. So I'm a little off. And so wherever you're consistently hitting the ball, that's where your impact point is. So, every now and then we hit a great shot, and every now and then we hit a really, really bad shot. But what we're looking for is consistency. This is really cool. Never golf, but I will now. Nicole Vision, that's really, really good to hear. The other thing that I will tell you about the driving range is every shot should have a purpose. I talked about this before. That even in life, everything you do should be purposeful. So in life, you set a goal, right? That's your target. And every step you take towards that target is on purpose. It's on purpose. You've thought it out. You've planned it. Same thing with golf. When you're on the driving range, pick a spot. Foot spray, never would have known. Yep, it works. Pick a spot. Pick your target and you aim for that target. Because how do you know if you're not lined up right? If you haven't chosen a target. You don't. You're just out there mindlessly hitting balls. And at that point, it's not practice. It's exercise. So if you just want to exercise, that's cool. But if you want to be better, you need to pick a target. Just like in life, set a goal. Pick your spot. Line yourself up and go for it. That is the same philosophy you should have on the driving range. And your setup is everything. Your setup is everything. Just like in life, your setup matters. How you approach one thing is typically how you approach everything. And when you approach everything the same way, it develops a habit, right? It develops consistency, which becomes a habit. So if your setup is wrong, you've consistently done things wrong, which means now you have a bad habit. And it's the same thing in golf. So although practice does make perfect, it also makes permanent. So you don't want to be on the driving range developing some permanent bad habits you'll never be able to undo. So your golf instructor is really important. You need to choose someone who's going to focus on the fundamentals. And those of you who have been in my scopes before, you know what those fundamentals are. You know what they are. Grip, posture, and ball position. Those are the only 3 things you can do consistently well in golf. Everything else takes a lot of work that most recreational golfers don't have time to put in. So if you put the time in on the 3 things that you can do consistently well every single time, you will have fun on the golf course. And you're spending the right amount of time on the driving range, and you are choosing a target. Every shot has a purpose. You can develop a pretty decent level of skill and have a really good time on the golf course. Undefeated Purpose. Hey, Undefeated Purpose. Anybody have any questions about what we talked about? I'll talk about different clubs at different times, but I wanted to talk to you about your wedges because people get confused about when they should use a wedge, and your shot when you're swinging with a wedge is very different than when you're swinging with like a 5-iron or a 6-iron. It's a different setup, different ball position. The position of your hands is a little bit different. Your weight distribution in your shot is a little bit different. The acceleration is kind of the same, but that might be the only thing that is the same. Your grip is going to be the same. One thing I can tell you beginners is if you don't get your grip down, it's going to be horrible. Good morning, I'm late, but I'll watch the replay. Just saying, I wanted to come in and say hi. Good morning, Undefeated Purpose. Thank you for coming in to say good morning. What you'll notice when you watch professional golfers, you'll see a lot of different swings. You're not going to see a lot of different grips. Your grip is just very foundational, and that's something you have to get right. Sometimes people will go buy new equipment because they just can't figure out why they're consistently doing this one thing wrong. Most of the time, it's not the equipment. It's really not. My first set of clubs were horrible, and my second set of clubs were horrible. My second set of clubs I got from this guy who had a garage full of clubs. They were dusty and rusty and old, heavy steel shafts. But guess what? I can still play golf with them. I mean, most of the time it's not the tool. It's user error most of the time. And most of the time there's something in your setup or something in your grip that is causing you to have bad shots. It is typically not the equipment. Most of the time it is not the equipment. Golf is the only sport where the ball doesn't move. Guess what? that means you control everything. So if you're hitting bad shots, it's not the equipment. It's not. I mean, yes, technology has come a long way. They are making it easier for lesser skilled golfers to have better shots. They're adding some forgiveness to your club face. They're making the sweet spot a little larger. They're putting the weight in different spots in the club, particularly for women. So yes, technology has come a long way. Yes, they're making equipment favor new golfers, beginner golfers a little more, or what they call high handicap golfers. But most of the time it's you. If it's a bad shot, it was you. It was definitely you. There was something you're doing wrong. And the only way that you can undo that is on the driving range. Never use a round of golf to correct or fix something. Golf should be fun. Just get out there and swing. It doesn't matter. You're not on the tour. Some of y'all do play for money. I only play for money when I know I'm going to win. Is that bad? I only play for money when I've gone to the range before my round and I'm hitting well. If I'm not hitting well, I'm not. They call that skins. So ladies, if you ever hear the fellas saying, yeah, we play for skins, that means that they were out there betting. So if your man comes home broke, he lost his money on the golf course. That means he had a bad day. Women don't typically play for skins. I mean, I have played with women who are super competitive, who do play for skins, but I don't play for money if my shot's not on that day. You guys have any questions before I go? I have so much stuff to get done today. I did not sleep in this morning. You guys know my morning scopes are usually between like 9:30 and 10, somewhere around there. But this morning I decided to just get up and go after my day because I had a lot of stuff going on. I got new chapters coming. It's a really exciting time for Black Girls Golf. So if you guys are not on the email list, go ahead and join. You can go to the website at blackgirlsgolf.net. Detroit 22, I am headquartered in the Atlanta Metro. But I've been getting a lot of traction in a couple of new places. Right now, we're building. We're really working on setting the foundation for new chapters in Cleveland, New Jersey, Salt Lake City, Cleveland, New Jersey, Salt Lake City, Atlanta. So we have 4 chapters right now. If I could put a chapter everywhere someone asked, I would probably have like 30 chapters right now. But what's really important to me is that we have some longevity. So I'm only willing to grow into places where I know there's some level of commitment and sustainability, because I don't want to be that organization that used to be. I want to be around for your daughters, your granddaughters. I want Black Girls Golf to be the reason our little black girls turn on the television and see themselves playing golf. So I don't want to just go to a place because people said they want me there. It has to be deliberate and purposeful, and I have to know that there's going to be enough support that it will be around for the long haul. So it's very hard to find Black Girls at Golf. We travel and do scrambles like to have a woman. Yes, it is very true. It is one of the reasons I started Black Girls Golf is because you don't find a lot of black women who play. You know, I wanted to get better, and golf is not a game you can play inconsistently and expect to get better. You can't play golf and then take a 6-month break or a 3-year break. It's not like riding a bike. Yes, you may remember the grip and things like that, but your game, when you've been absent from golf, it shows in your game. It really, really does. So I stopped playing for a long time because I didn't like playing with men all the time. You know, the golf course can be very unwelcoming to women, whether you're black or not. It can just be a very unwelcoming place for women. Or you get those men who are happy to see women out there, but they think you don't know what you're doing. And so they're trying to show you how to do this and telling you to keep your head down and, let me, do this with your grip. And I got tired of that, But ladies, let me tell you one thing. When men see you on the driving range, they can't help themselves. They're going to come say something. Can I show you why the ball is doing that? Or can I help you with this? Tell them no. Because all he's going to do is give you his bad habits. And if his ass was that good, he would be on the tour. Don't take advice from men on the driving range. One of the instructors, who is one of the top instructors in the country who works with us, he said 95% of the things he hears people tell other people on the driving range is bad advice. Do not listen to men on the driving range, ladies. Don't do it. Don't do it. And for the most part, the one thing that every man is going to tell a woman, no matter what you're doing, what he's going to tell you, you got to keep your head down. That's what every man says. I don't care if your grip is too strong. I'll talk about that in another scope, a strong grip versus a weak grip. That can do a lot of things to the ball, right? So the ball tells the story of what is happening in your swing. The ball always tells the story, right? So no matter what the ball does, the man is going to say, keep your head down. You picked your head up. That's not true. I have never done that, but I'm sure it's just to get an opening to talk to the woman. Yes, Detroit 22, you're right. So for you single ladies who are listening, nothing to do with her actual game. Exactly right. You single ladies who are listening, the driving range, I have seen so many men approach women on the driving range. It's just easy to strike up a conversation. Hi, Tiff 808. My name is Tiffany too. Hell, hi from Alabama. So we're in Atlanta, Miss Tiff. But single ladies, if you are struggling with meeting men, thank you for those hearts. You guys must like that advice. Good morning, Nicole Hawk. If you're struggling with meeting men, the driving range is a great place. Now, don't listen to him because he's going to give you some bad advice. But chances are, yes, yay for the tips. Chances are he's trying to flirt if he's talking to you on the driving range. Those are the greatest odds. So, Miss Tiff, let me tell you a secret. I used to hate my name. Right? I thought Tiffany was so prissy, and I was such a tomboy growing up, and I thought Tiffany was just too prissy of a name for me. And it's so funny. I used to say, yeah, a 2-year-old Tiffany is cute. A 60-year-old Tiffany is not cute. Like, I'm going to be 60 years old with a name like Tiffany. You know, it is what it is. I've grown into my name, but when I was growing up, I thought my name was horrible. I just thought it was too prissy. See, you did too. See, yeah. And every now and then, you know, I can be in a setting with women who have like what I think are very strong feminine names. And then I can walk up saying, hi, my name is Tiffany. It's just too dainty. And I'm not a dainty person. Too common. So, you know what, Tiffany? I didn't meet a lot of Tiffany's. I met a lot of Stephanies. And people call me Stephanie. I think all us Tiffany's go through that. People call me Stephanie all the time. Tiffany don't sound like Stephanie. I mean, I could see how you could do that, but it doesn't sound like Stephanie to me. So, you guys, we're going to do one more review before our newbies leave. And I'm going to pick up my wedge again. So just one more time, I'm going to quiz you guys. And for the newbies who just joined the scope, pay attention. So who knows what this part of the club is? Who remembers? Who remembers what this part of the club is? See, y'all about to make me sad. Y'all weren't paying attention. Who remembers what this part of the club is? Nobody remembers. So, okay, I'm going to tell you. Curvy Girl ATL, you were here. You should remember what this part of the club is. So, this is the toe. Who remembers what this part of the club is? Who remembers? Y'all are just came in late. Okay, so I'm going to review for the new people who came in late. So, this is the toe of the club. It's like a foot. This is the heel. This is the sole, and this is the face. Okay? So the heel of your club, the sole, this is the sole, which is the bottom, just like your foot. The bottom of your club is going to have a number or a letter on it indicating which club it is. So the title of this scope, so Miss Tiff, this is the toe, the heel, the bottom is the sole, and the front of the club is the face. And the heel or the sole of your club is going to always tell you what club it is. This is a 60 degree wedge. Okay? It's a 60-degree wedge. And if there's a P on it, it will be a pitching wedge. If there's an S, it will be a sand wedge. And the loft of this wedge is pretty steep. Okay? And the loft affects trajectory and distance. And the loft of every club is different. The loft of every club is different because you choose a club based on what trajectory and distance it's going to give the ball. And that is what you learn how to do on the driving range. So if you're new, the first place you need to go is the driving range so that you can learn how far you can hit the ball with each club. You learn that over time. And let's say you get out there with your pitching wedge and at first you're hitting the ball. Maybe you swing once and you hit the ball 60 yards. Then you swing again, you hit it 55 yards. And you swing again, you hit it 70 yards. That's not consistent. So when you go out on the golf course, you don't know when to use that pitching wedge because you hit it a different distance every time you swung the club. That is not consistency. You will never be a good golfer if you never learn how you use your clubs. Everybody hits the ball a different distance with each club. I mean, there are some general numbers in there, some averages, but for the most part, everybody's different, right? So you need to learn you. You need to get to know your clubs. And once you develop some consistency with each club, it makes playing a round of golf easier because then you know, based on where you are on the golf course, which club you need to use. Because you're going to use a different club as you get closer to the hole. And as you get closer to the hole, you don't need the ball to go as far, right? But sometimes you might want it to go really high and not roll when it hits the ground. Or sometimes you may want it to not go as high but roll really far. So there's a different club and a different way you impact the ball when you want the club to do those different things. So you got to get to know yourself as a golfer, and everybody's different. So you can never base your swing, your distances on what somebody else is doing. And the general rule of thumb is there should be 10 yards distance between each of your clubs. So there's a couple of clubs that I use that are a little more than that, and some that are a little less than that. Good morning, Malika. But you don't learn that if you're not on the driving range practicing that. You'll never learn it. So when you get to the driving range, just take one or two clubs. Don't take your whole bag. And you only spend enough time developing some consistency with those two clubs. All right? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. A wedge is not a shoe. It's a golf club in my world. It's a golf club. This club is a Callaway wedge. I really love this wedge. I haven't used it in my bag. I've been using a 52-degree wedge. And again, that number indicates the loft on the club. So that angle. And that loft controls trajectory and affects distance. That's the most important thing you need to know. Any questions? I know that was a lot of information if you are totally new to golf. But if you are not new and you are trying to develop some consistency, one tip I gave earlier in the scope was to get a can of foot spray, spray it on the face of your club, and when you go to the driving range, wherever your ball hits the face of that club, it'll leave a mark. And that's how you know where you're impacting the club. So if you hit it on the toe, odds are it's going to fly right. You hit it on the heel, you're going to hit it fat. You want it to be in the sweet spot. And you know where you're impacting the ball if you put foot spray on your club face, because it'll leave a mark. And you'll know what you need to work on based on that. You guys have any questions for me? If not, I'm going to get out of here. Leave some love on the way out. Let me know that this information was valuable to you. And, oh, thank you. Who is that sharing the pink love? Some more pink love. You guys, if you have any questions, anything you would like me to answer in a future scope, you can email me, Tiffany@blackgirlsgolf.net. And if you'd like to sign up for the newsletter, you can do that at blackgirlsgolf.net. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later.